All right, guys, welcome to our 2025-26 Mountain Home High School boys and girls basketball preview here on KTLO Classic Hits 101.7. Lucky to have Josh Fulcher, head boys basketball coach, and Coach Dell Leonard with us here in Studio BOB. Coach Leonard is the head girls basketball coach. Guys, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you.
So, exciting year coming up. I'll give you both a little bit of time to talk about your team. Coach Fulcher, we'll start with you about the upcoming season.
Really like our guys. This is on paper, we've got 2 returning varsity players. So we brought in so many sophomores, but had some new guys that added to the program, had a couple return to the program. So on paper, you're thinking, all right, they're not returning much, but I think we got a chance to surprise some teams. We've got height, probably. We didn't have that last year. We got some depth and really got all the things to have a good basketball team this year. Really excited to put this product on the floor.
Awesome. Coach Leonard?
Pretty much the same. We're excited. We really like our players. As far as what we have returning, we've got 3 varsity starters returning. We have Lakin Anderson, who got a ton of varsity minutes, and then we got some kids who have paid their dues that are going to step in and get an opportunity, either starters or getting varsity minutes off the bench. We're not as long or as tall as we were last year. We're not as deep as we were last year, but we do have all the pieces. Libby Fosness is 6 feet, but plays like she's 6'4". I predict she's going to have a monster year. And then talked about not being real tall or long, but our guards are big guards, really big guards and strong guards. And we just like everything about them. I like the way they get along. I think chemistry is huge, and you can have fake chemistry, but it's not going to work. And we've got great chemistry, and just really excited about our season.
So both of you guys turning over roster a little bit. I know, Coach Leonard, you had several seniors that left last year. Same with you, Coach Fulcher, that were a key part to what you're doing. I'll ask this to both of you. If you can look at, and you never want to compare teams, year to year, because it's different. Everything changes. If you look at your team this year into last year, what are some things that you want to see carry over, maybe that you want to see from year to year, and maybe some things that are different with the teams?
Things I'd like to see carry over is the fact that the passion. Those seniors last year and their parents were so passionate about everything, and you saw that with the time they put in, and whether it was on the floor, getting better as a player and grinding, or whether it was contributing off the floor. We got to continue to carry that tradition. We won't be as deep. And that group of seniors last year, they were program kids. I mean, they were bought in from the time that, they were knee high and until they got all the way through, going into the 7th grade, all the way through the 12th grade. They were just lady bombers to the core, and I loved everything about them. What I'd like to see different is to make sure that you can control the passion to where that you handle adversity. And, adversity is something that comes in a lot of different ways, and no matter how good you are, no matter how great your kids are, your parents are, you're going to deal with it. It's going to happen, and you got to handle it the right way. And I think that we had so much passion at times last year that maybe we didn't handle adversity the right way. And our seniors, I think they've learned a lot from that.
Coach Fulcher?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you talk about Bomber basketball, you're going to get just tough, hard-nosed kids that play hard. So those things will always carry on through our program. That's kind of built at an early age. And so you're going to see a lot of carryover, just who we are, what our identity is. Pride ourselves on being blue-collar guys that just love to work, and this group's no different. I think having such a new group, we really had to start in the springtime and really start kind of identifying those things that they needed to progress early and carry what it means to be a high school player, because it's a huge gap from junior high to high school. And so those young guys and then the guys that return to our program, we've been working really hard from the springtime. But you're going to get same Bomber basketball, guys that work hard. Probably the difference, like I said earlier, is probably the size and some depth.
So both of you guys are notoriously known. I've seen it firsthand, having a kid come through the program, of scheduling pretty tough. Our conference is pretty tough as it is. Both of you schedule pretty tough. I've seen both of your non-conference schedules. let's get into that. I was giving Coach Leonard a hard time last night. I said, did you go to the semifinals of 4A, 5A, 6A, and just say, look, I'm going to schedule these teams? Talk about your non-conference schedule as we get into the schedule and conference a little bit.
Well, we've always tried to play a pretty tough non-conference schedule. Last year was unbelievably tough and did not plan for it to get tougher, was fine with it being the same. But what happened in some of our early pre-conference tournaments is maybe the 6, 7, 8 seeds dropped out and they got replaced with 1, 2, and 3 seeds, like Valonia and Greene County Tech and Conway. So we actually may end up not having the really great non-conference record and actually could be pretty good because of it going into a conference. And Coach and I never ever we never worry about wins or losses. I think you don't want to get beat down, but we're not trying to set individual records for however many wins. I don't even know how many wins we have, but you just want to get better. That's it. Get better, because our conference is a grind, and in the playoffs, you better be prepared. And we won 2 games in the playoffs last year and went to the Final Four. And I don't know how we win, because we had 25 plus turnovers in the first 2 games. So that tells you a little bit about their resilience and the schedule they had. So, we just want to continue to get better. And if we win, awesome. But we got to get better when we lose too.
Yeah, I think both of our programs are big believers of building through adversity. And you really want to put your team through everything. I know we do that in our practices, and just like Coach Leonard does in his, but there's nothing like playing games. So you want to put together a really tough schedule, because ultimately our goal is always state tournament and beyond and conference championships. And so, that doesn't start till after Christmas. So we use, I catch myself all the time calling it preseason, because it really is. We treat it that way. We want to put them against the best, and that's just what we do. And that's what I've always admired about the girls program. They don't duck it either, and it's awesome to be aligned in that way of thinking.
So we'll kind of talk about the way the schedules break out a little bit. You talk about preseason or pre-conference. Excuse me. So both of you kind of have set up. You get 3 tournaments. Is that correct? That you can play in that?
Well, it used to be, but now you get 30 games total, and once you add up what you're going to play in conference, then let's say you're going to play 14 games in conference, then you can schedule 16 games however you want.
So it sets up. I think both of you have some tournaments in Northwest Arkansas. You're going to be in Bentonville. Is that correct?
We're going to be at Rogers at the Arvest.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to be in Springdale?
Springdale, and then we play at Wynn, and then we have our tournament, both of us.
So that's the 3 there. And where are your other ones?
We're also both at the Billy Ply over in Flippin. They bring a good field for that, and it's a local deal, so that's awesome for our guys. We like going to the Arvest or finding a tournament that you get to go away and you're going to play consecutive days, have to stay in a hotel room. You want to put your team through that because hopefully later on in the season they're going to get to experience that, and you don't want the first time they do that at a state tournament. So, that's where we're going. We're going to the Arvest, and we've got the Billy Ply, and we're also playing a little classic, Fountain Lake. That's where we're playing Monticello.
And we talk about a little bit of the tournament here over the Christmas break. Those dates have been set. I think it's the 29th, 30th, and 31st, correct? Talk a little bit about the teams that I know may be a little bit different. Coach Leonard, who do you have coming for the girls' side of it?
Well, the first thing that pops in my mind is Georgetown, Texas. From everything I've heard, really talented 5A school out of Texas that went deep in the playoffs last year and has everybody back. And then Coach helped me out with a team from Mississippi.
That's Lewisburg.
Lewisburg's bringing boys and girls, and I talked to their coach. Can't really get a read on it, but I know when I look at some stuff, through YouTube and on social media, they look pretty talented.
Coach, yeah. So Lewisburg, their coach reached out to me, and anytime a coach reaches out to travel that far, they're going to be pretty good. Lewisburg, they're right there in Olive Branch, Mississippi, which is right south of Memphis. They play in the biggest classification in Missouri. When I was asking him about his team, they play the best competition in Mississippi. He said, "Hey, I think we're going to be big. I'm going to start a 6'9" and a 6'10", and so that's awesome. And when I'm telling folks around here, hey, they're coming in, they're going to be big, and they're they're thinking we might not want to play those guys. We want to try to find a way to play them because it's going to make us better in our conference. But we have our teams, Paragould and Greene County Tech's returning on the boys' side. We have Lewisburg, which and they're new, and then Fort Smith North side they're new as well. We play them. That's our first game. We're going to go to North side at Coach Wilmath over there. So he's bringing his team up here, and then you've got the usual suspects of Dumas, Farmington. Let's see if I'm leaving somebody out. Rector's coming back again. So it's going to be a really, really good field. I would say probably just about every one of those teams, or if probably all of them, will be state tournament teams.
Yeah, I've been lucky to be a part of it the last few years and be around it. And I know the Dumas squad, both boys and girls, they love this trip up here. They love coming up here. First class event, Atlas Asphalt Tournament. Check it out. December 29th, 30th, and 31st. If you love basketball, it's a great time. It's pretty much basketball all day, right? Starting that first day, it's a little later, but then it's a great time to be there. So now moving into conference for both of you, maybe a little bit different sides of the I guess, ball here. Coach, you had a team that went deep, got to the Final Four, ran out of steam against a good Greene County Tech team on their home court. Probably a team, if we played 10 times, it goes 5-5. We beat them early in the season. They beat us that went in that game. Looking to get back to that. I think you have the horses and team to do that. But looking at your conference, obviously you got to get through that first and finish in the top four. Break down your conference a little bit.
Well, we've got to be able to get past Farmington and Greenwood. We haven't been able to do that, and you got to give them the respect they deserve for that. But hopefully get through healthy and get in the top four. We can sit here and say we want to win conference, and obviously we do. But I just want to get in with this team, and like we did last year, we got in as the 3 seed. Had some bad luck with Jayla getting hurt, and then having a couple other people that weren't healthy. But we got to be tough enough to overcome that, and. You go in, we're the type of team, I believe, that can beat anybody, but we're also the type of team that if something crazy happens, like foul trouble, we could get beat by anybody in our league. I really believe that. I think Van Buren and Harrison are going to be much better. I know that people look at the league and they think, well, Alma's not returning much, but Coach will tell you that's one of the hardest places to play over there, and you could go over there and get beat any year. It's a really tough grind in the 5A West, and you better be ready to play every night, or else when you probably should be a 1 or 2 seed, you could end up a 3 or 4, or maybe not get in because you didn't show up one night.
Yeah, Alma, there were several parents celebrating last year that they never had to go back to that place again.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Very excited. Coach, your side of the ball, a little bit different on that. I mean, you had a team last year that fought hard. Every game, we were there, we called the games. Every game you fought hard. It just seemed like you could never really get over the hump, make that one big play to squeeze it out. Had some big wins. The Harrison win was huge and was able to do some things and build on that. What's the conference look like on your side?
Well, when you talk about last year's team, just kind of what's the makeup of it. And when you don't have a rim protector, when your 5-man is a guard, everybody had to play out of position. And on the offense end or the defensive end, somebody was always having to play a position that they just had to, and so we couldn't kind of make up for mistakes, get easy putbacks, get the key stops because just of the grind and the size, and we just honestly kind of wore down. We were really dependent on the outside shot, and it's a very physical conference. The West and the boys. Was the best it's ever been in the past 2 to 3 years. This year, there's a lot of talent that graduated, but like Coach was saying, it's the 5A West. There's really good teams, there's really good coaches, and everybody works really hard at it. So the teams will be different, but it's going to be a grind, and you're going to have to come to bring it every night because everywhere you play is they can beat you just like they can get beat up here at the hangar.
So one last thing as we get ready to close this, we got an event coming up Saturday. It is the alumni game. Tell us a little bit about that, what people can do, what time that starts.
We start at 1 o'clock, and the girls will play against the Lady Bomber alumni that can make it. And it's always great to see those ladies. And, if there's an opportunity, we like for them to talk to the team. And then we'll also recognize our 7th, 8th, and 9th graders at some point. I believe the girls will be recognized at halftime of the girls' game and the boys, so on and so forth. But it's just a fun way to kind of introduce our team to the community and before we get ready to get started.
So yeah, what the Bomber tip-off is, it's a practice where we invite our teams to get recognized at halftime. Then some alumni players will come and scrimmage with us, and really you're just kind of bringing the old and the new, and it's the exciting start to the year, and it's just a lot of fun to be able to see a lot of former players that have given so much to the program. It's good for them to see, hey, these are the guys that are kind of carrying the program. They're the next caretakers of what they laid the foundation for. So just a great way to start out the year, and we're both really excited about this year. And then Tuesday is our benefit games, and we're playing ball.
Yeah, so Tuesday the boys play at 5:30. They got Paragould coming in, correct? And then the girls will follow, and you have Batesville coming in. Was that because of travel to help the teams with that, all the time with that? So I'll give you this last little minute here, Coach, both of y'all, to address the fans that are out there, kind of give a charge and talk about, what's to come and rally the troops, so to speak.
Well, I just think that piggybacking on what Coach said regarding the benefit game, it's just the epitome of Mountain Home. And I've never been anywhere else. I don't have I can't compare Mountain Home to any place else, but I just like the way that our program's not just talking about boys and girls together, but we root for each other. Our kids root for each other. Our coaches root for each other. It's not just basketball. Like Coach and I are huge Steve Airy fans, and I give Coach Husky a lot of credit for the overall program just being one big family, and we like for the community to be part of that and feel like they have ownership in that. But this is a great place, and we're excited about the opportunity to be here. And I hope that I know that our kids, our boys and our girls, are going to make this community proud. And I really encourage people to come out and watch them play, because it's a community and a school coming together, and it's special.
And I think what Coach Leonard was part of what he was saying is that there's people in charge that care about kids, whatever the program is. And I think our community sees that, because our community supports our programs, and anything to support the kids. And this community is like no other. We're very blessed to be here, to coach here in Mountain Home. This community is fantastic. I can't think of a better place to play basketball games in Mountain Home. And we know that, but also the rest of the state knows that. We're well supported. You come to our game, it's the best atmosphere, and our student section's great. And we're going to both put products on the floor that our community will be proud of. And that's important to both of us, that we give back to our community, but we also put a product out there that can be supported. And we're going to do that year in, year out.
Well, that's awesome. Once again, games start Tuesday night. There'll be the benefit game you can come be a part of Saturday at 1 o'clock. Games start Tuesday night, 5:30 for the boys, 7 o'clock for the girls. And all games will be streamed on KTLO streaming, or you can hear them on Classic Hits 101.7. Go on YouTube, follow KTLO streaming. If you need a schedule, you can come by KTLO. They'll hook you up with one. You can go to the high school. They'll get you some of all the schedule of games that are out there. Guys, I'm looking forward to it. We're going to be there with you. We got some neat things planned in the production side of things, maybe get some insight into the game, and look forward to it.
Well, thanks for the opportunity to do this.
Brad, thank you, and thanks to KTLO for featuring our kids. Go Bombers.
Go Bombers.